Yes, sir.
That was a bit of a sloppy start.
Oh,
just on my part. That's all good.
Oh, I thought we were already on.
Not yet.
How's it going on? Here we are. Hey, what's going on? I'm Styles the Prophet. With me, like always, we got the boy B Show in the house.
What's going on, everybody?
Making all this happen, making the magic happen in the background. We got
Yay.
doing his thing.
What up?
Tonight, we got a special episode. If you've ever seen Shifter Magazine anywhere or heard about it anywhere, tonight we got the editor-in-chief, fucking KB, the motherfucking boss. Right
Yes,
here.
sir. In the flesh.
Fuck, man. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
Oh, no
thanks a
problem.
lot,
bro.
bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
for
thanks,
sure.
man.
We
Yes,
appreciate
yes. Well, there's a crazy lady right here.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we got a
Like,
couple of them.
Holy crap. That's
one
crazy.
of one of his toys.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say the least.
It's perfect for me. Fucking right. Yeah, man. I'm just going to light up this blunt here.
Oh, starting it off.
This,
heavy, eh? All right. Well,
Breakfast crit from Oasis, Green Grass Oasis.
okay. Right on. Say, you were just telling us you were just speaking. Oh wow, why am I drawing a blank? You were just speaking about it, but you were just talking in front of. Why am I drawing a blank? We were just talking about.
Were
it.
you smoking?
No, I'm smoking.
What
You're
you
on
doing
to my
smoking?
tongue.
You're talking about doing something at
Terra?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's what I was leading into. Recently?
Yeah, so I spoke before the holidays. I spoke at Terra, the Audio Recording Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about, entrepreneurship, personal branding, all the music, like, Ottawa. Like, they kind of wanted someone who could talk about Ottawa hip hop and R&B, like what's happening in the scene and stuff. So apparently someone told them I was the person to talk to. So,
Well, I guess so, though. I guess so.
You know?
though.
Right, man.
so
Seriously.
Right on. So yeah, you're the editor-in-chief of Shift Magazine.
yeah.
Were you one of the founders of Shift Magazine?
Yeah, so I found it. I co-founded it, yeah.
Okay, so with a lad named Vlad?
No,
No?
Vlad, no, it was a guy named Joe.
Okay.
Uh,
Why don't you tell us then about how it got started?
So the original idea with Shifter was that, I moved here from Toronto,
Okay,
and, in Toronto, there's a lot of media, there's a lot of,
no doubt.
yeah, much music, all that kind of stuff. And so when it came to Ottawa, I was always like, yo, like, where's the media?
Mhm.
So that, yeah, and I found like a lot of the media, like blogs and stuff, were all very local. And I was like, man, this is the capital city of Canada. Like, why isn't there anything that speaks to like stuff that's not local? Like, where's the big media outlets and stuff? And I would kind of talk about that with people, and no one really cared. Everyone's like, what do you like? Who cares? Like, and so
Yeah,
I kind of realized, okay, maybe I need to do something about this.
for sure.
And so yeah, I just decided to launch something that could, like you guys, like platform,
Yeah.
local talent, all that kind of stuff. And
Thanks, man.
yeah,
Hey man, I think it's great.
yeah, that's how it started. And it's funny because even in Toronto, like I never picked up a camera until I came to Ottawa.
Oh really?
I never really
Okay.
did anything creative until I came here. It was the fact that so much stuff was missing here that I was like, it inspired like just pick up a camera and actually like, start creating and stuff.
Man,
So
that's really cool.
so then I went to Rogers TV, did some camera stuff there just to learn camera, and yeah, and we just started out as Shift Magazine, and then we rebranded to Shifter
Okay.
Magazine. But yeah, it's kind of how it started, and it's been a good ride. It's been with 2013 is when we first came together, and at first it was like most of our audience wasn't even in Ottawa. Like most of our audience was outside of Ottawa at first.
Go figure, eh?
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, with a lot of creative people in Ottawa, Ottawa tends to be like your fifth or sixth city when it comes to audience.
Mm.
So yeah, we were like bigger in Toronto, LA, New York, London than we were in Ottawa.
No way.
And then
Something.
yeah, so then we finally decided, okay, we need to actually like build our Ottawa audience, and that's when we really like doubled down a few years ago and really started to like really just make our presence known in Ottawa, because we're like, we can't be here and people don't know we're here.
Yeah,
You know?
really. Well,
Like
yeah, yeah.
like.
You gotta be the
Exactly.
local. Yeah.
And we didn't want to, and I didn't want to ever like blow up outside the city and then have your own city be like, yo, like who are these guys? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, I'm like, yo, like we want to bring Ottawa with us. Like as we grow, we want to bring Ottawa with us instead of just kind of like one day showing up and then being like, hey, we were here all along.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of how things evolved.
That's awesome, man. Actually, I think it's so did you do any schooling or anything in Toronto?
Nope.
No?
I mean, I was always a good writer ever since I was a kid.
Okay.
I was always like the kid who was like super anal about spelling bees and stuff.
Grammar.
Grammar, like
yeah.
I was always good. Like my teacher was always using my like stories as like examples to the rest of the
Nice,
class,
you were that guy.
like in elementary school and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just always, and I used to love like essay questions on exams.
Yeah, okay.
If I saw an essay question, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill this, you know.
Yeah,
So,
those are the hardest ones.
You know,
man.
and
Good
so
for you.
yeah, I was always just naturally a good writer. So I didn't know I didn't do any schooling. I actually studied political science, like a lot of people in Ottawa.
It's
Yeah,
even, so
really.
it's,
You know?
it even just adds to the tape even more. I find it crazy that you just came to Ottawa. You're like, this is missing.
That's
Let me just
Yeah,
do
yeah.
That's
and
what
now
that's what you
have
need to do, right? You,
internship.
you see
But I
a
mean,
gap in the market, and you like, okay, let's fill
Exactly.
it. Let's
Yeah.
find
And
a way to
everything I
fill that.
did, everything I've done, like I helped King Kimbit start Cap City Ciphers because there was no regular rap ciphers happening in the city, so we started it.
Yeah.
And then there was no hip hop morning show, so we're like with CHUO, we started a hip hop morning show every morning.
Yeah.
So we just every time we saw something missing, we're like, just let's do it.
Man.
You know?
that's
Well, you know
amazing.
what's funny is my older brother, he's not big into hip hop really. And we went to what was that called? Radionics or Radio?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he came with me because I was performing.
Yeah.
And he listens to all the like college radio and stuff all the time. And so like in his car, like at home and everything, like it's just always playing. He hears everything, and he was like, "Oh, that's fucking Magic Mike and shit, and whatever." And he's like, "What's the dude? Oh, I feel bad now, Living Large
Okay,
and stuff like that." Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, and he knows all these people, right?" He's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
got
yeah.
this show, and he's like this, and whatever, blah blah blah." But then we were talking about you, I think, like Shifter and stuff, right? And he was like, "Man," he's like, "I wonder if that has to do with like the morning shift." And I didn't know or
Yeah.
whatever, but I was like, "Man," I'm like, "Yeah, maybe, eh? Like that's
Yeah.
crazy." But it's just funny because I guess what I'm saying is someone who like doesn't focus on hip hop, like he doesn't even really like care to like
Yeah.
hear hip hop, whatever. He actually was the one that like that's why I listened to hip hop. Was whenever I was younger, I like got it from him. Now he's
Yeah.
like more metal. But it's just funny because someone totally outside of the scene, blind to everything, knows like who you are, knows like all these
Yeah.
people in that like industry, right? And like making these connections, but like doesn't, but he's not like into it,
Yeah. Definitely.
So you're making noise when like people like that are like, "Oh yeah, like that's
Yeah,
that
it was
dude, right?"
it's
Like,
weird, but like I would go to like there was one day where I took my older son, my older son to a play date, and the parents knew who I was,
yeah,
and then I I took my younger son to a birthday party, and the parents of the party, and someone's like, "Yo, Radio Man," and I was like, "What?" They're like, "I listened to the morning shift." I was like, "This is so weird," like,
Yeah.
Or I just go places and people are like, "Yo, your voice, are you that guy from like whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's so weird, man. Like.
Like, how does it feel though? Like,
I mean, it's nice though because it's like it means you've put in work, right?
Yeah.
It means like it's paying off, right?
Yeah.
So if it doesn't, I mean, of course, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't say it doesn't feel nice,
Yeah,
but
of course.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
but it's nice to be recognized for your work and all that kind of stuff. So
no doubt. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, you do great work, that's for sure.
well, thank you.
I mean, I got it up right here. I was just going over some things recently.
Yeah,
Some familiar faces in that picture, but yeah, man.
No, I actually think that's sick though that you actually like were like you said like LA and like New
Mhm.
York and shit and like
Yeah.
London and shit. Like I think it's good that you made that type of splash at first too though,
Yeah.
because like I find even like I like with this I'm almost thinking of like now the opposite, right? Like we made like a little like I won't even say splash, but we
Yeah.
made a little motion
Yeah.
here. But I'm like, well, wait, like we got to try and get
Exactly,
like further
yeah.
out. But I feel like that's a harder struggle than
yeah.
like what you guys did, being big out here,
Yeah.
and going back.
But
like,
because I mean, purposely from the beginning, I made sure that the aesthetic didn't look like Ottawa.
yeah,
And
yeah,
people would literally said that. Like people would stop me and they're like, so there's a lot of people up to this day that follow Shifter but don't know we're here. I meet people all the time who are like, "Man, I thought you guys were based in Toronto," because they don't think cool stuff can happen in Ottawa,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
really though.
but I purposely made the aesthetic universal because I wanted it so that people in New York, LA, Chicago would follow it because
course.
the space we wanted to fill in the media landscape, we wanted to be the outlet that could connect the artist to the outside audience, right? I don't like 'cause I mean. One thing to be able to definitely there is a service in connecting people to local audiences because the audience in Ottawa hasn't been built yet. But where we particularly wanted to like live is we wanted to like be able to say we can connect people if you're interviewed by us, we can connect you to an audience outside of Ottawa. So that's just kind of that was kind of the plan from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's worked. So
It's smart if you think about it. For
mhm.
sure, it's really smart.
We lost
Because-
camera here for a sec. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I'm gonna get this
Is
back
it
as soon
just
as
the
I can.
camera? Yeah.
Yeah, everything's still going. I just lost
Alright,
the
cool.
camera
we'll,
input.
We'll be back visually. Damn, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's almost like not that you would expect, but you would hope, that you're in Ottawa. Ottawa artists are gonna,
Mhm.
try and use you as a platform
Yeah.
for them and all that. And then, but if you have,
Yeah.
the outside listening as well, it's what you were pretty much saying. It's like a spider web that's already growing in a way. You're already expanding.
Yeah, you don't have to branch out. 'cause
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
already like
Kind of
made
there.
that little bit, already out there, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
And then just the city would kind of gravitate toward. Oh, you're in our city.
yeah. And it's all about consistency, right? Like after a while, people will just start to find you. Like
Yeah,
you
we
know,
found that for sure.
yeah.
Even what we've been doing
Yeah.
for sure. It's like, for instance, have Quest on.
Yep.
Well, he's like Dreamland,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
But then then it starts trickling.
Yeah.
Get you on.
yeah,
Other people associated with, hey, I seen that episode, and
yeah.
or whatever you do. I saw that your magazine and anything, and yeah, it's just volumes, I guess. But your content,
Mhm.
Yeah.
what we're doing.
You get this man a drink or what?
Yeah, I was good. I was working my way that way. Absolutely. Got a little hat trick here. This is from Oakville, Ontario.
Oh yeah, I'm from Mississauga, so that's like
Oh,
down the highway from me. So
yeah, straight.
It's just some local brew. I'll let you have your pick. You're in for
I'll do the Jurassic because it's very
yeah,
Toronto-esque.
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Right on.
Cameron's.
That looks like a Blue Jays can for sure.
Yo, this looks like a collectible, man.
Definitely.
Like, I wouldn't
Yeah, these
like
look
this.
pretty
Like, you
cool.
need to keep this.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of beer packaging, like
Yeah, look
beer
at this,
cans,
eh?
beer like any like alcohol bottles. Like this, the thing that goes into them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey man, design is a
Check
huge
this out.
part of like everything.
Yeah.
absolutely.
What's
Shout out Cameron's Brewing. Yeah, this is an amber ale. Hey,
Oh,
get
this is
it?
very citrusy.
Man, my work sells this shit.
Citrusy?
It's,
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
It's
Nice.
Perth Brewery.
Did you want one?
It's called the Easy Amber.
Yeah.
yeah.
12 Mile Indian Pale Lager.
Sure, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to try? We might as well have one.
12 Mile Island,
We'll
bud.
try all these. Right on.
All right, let's get it. Cheers,
There's
man.
even a little
Cheers.
thing on the inside too. Yeah, cheers, boys.
Oh, cheers. Bruh. All right.
Shout out to KB for coming out to the 4G Audio podcast.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah.
little strong, but
Yeah, I was gonna say the amber's strong, so the lager's got to be. Look at this, eh?
Baby.
Yeah, you're
That
talking packaging, and I'm just like, yeah, look at all this stuff.
is a box.
Look at this. It's a contest. Grand prize,
More beer.
1x16-foot Huron cedar strip canoe. Second place.
That's actually pretty dope.
That's even
Yeah,
better
right?
than beer, man. Shit.
Second place is 3 wooden paddles and Cameron's gift pack.
Well, I want the 3 wooden paddles to go with my canoe.
And then third place is 10 paddle shaped keychains and Cameron's gift
Boo.
Yeah.
No one wants that. No one wants that.
pack. No one wants that keychain.
To go with my tiny canoe keychain.
Right on.
Hey.
That's a hat trick.
That's a hat trick. Yeah. Nice. Sorry. But yeah, I noticed you and you hang out with the Dreamland a lot. Or at the
Yeah.
Dreamland, maybe.
You're part of Dreamland.
Yeah.
Kind of like I helped start it.
Yeah.
I
But
kinda,
like you and Quest go back, eh? Or like,
no, we've known each other for like a year,
oh, okay. Oh, no, okay.
but we hit it off right away. Like I met them. Like I went to go interview Heavy at Quest old studio in Hull,
Nice.
and it was just like immediately. I was like, I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Like I interviewed them, and I was just like, man, I can chill here the whole day.
That's
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, from there, and then we kind of connected, and then after that, I started managing Heavy, and then yeah, and then when we I was kind of around for the starting of Dreamland, like helping when we came up with the name and the logo, and I was helping Quest out in the beginning. I don't have an official role right now, because they're handling it. So I'm like, they're handling it. So I'm like, I don't need to be in there, but yeah, I'm there. I was there yesterday with them, just hanging out. So.
Cool.
How'd you get into like managing like artists? Like,
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna,
that
because
was
I'm
the
really
next one
interested in
coming
that,
around.
man. Because like I actually thought about maybe trying to do that, but like
Managing. I started working with artists in general maybe like 16 or so years ago. Like that's the first time.
holy shit, eh?
Well, yeah, that's when someone first asked me, "Hey, can you like make a kit, like a package for me to send to a radio station?" I was like, "Okay," I never did it before. And then Facebook came, and I became like the Facebook guy, because no one knew people didn't know what Facebook was, so I became like the Facebook guy, helping artists with Facebook in
Yeah,
the beginning when I first started out. And then after I moved to Ottawa, which is probably like 10 years ago now, I was managing a Toronto rapper from Ottawa, I was here, and then
Yeah.
he was there. So I was managing him, and it was just something I knew I could do, and I was intrigued by it. So I just jumped in and did it. It wasn't like something like, and then that first relationship didn't really pan out. It was kind of like, we kind of it was a bit of a test run. And then it'd been a while since we had managed someone, and then I was kind of itching to get back into it. And I already knew, like, by the time I already gotten to know Heavy and Quest a little bit more. And I believe in what they're doing. Like, Quest is an amazing engineer, amazing producer. Heavy as well. Heavy is a very versatile artist, and so
Yeah.
I was like, we had such a good, like, I like to start everything from a place of relationship. Like,
Yeah.
like for me, if the relationship is good, like, I'll want to work with someone. If I don't have a relationship with someone, I find it hard to work. And so
Yeah.
it's same as like like dating a chick, right? Like you want to be friends with her first, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that sounds
that's a
corny,
good-
but you know
no,
what I mean?
that's a
Like,
good. I'm trying to no, that's
Right,
good
like-
actually.
Yeah, man.
That's very
for
good.
sure.
Like, you need like that courting period, that kind of like, let's get to know each other. Let's
Of course.
'cause then you can proceed like.
Well, it's
with
got to
Yeah.
be more
like-
than
Exactly.
more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not what you guys are talking about, but you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking
I'm
about.
I'm at the place now where I could probably do business with. I can probably manage someone that I don't necessarily have a personal. Like, I'm more business. I'm more. Before I was like more like a lot more of a creative. So my heart had to be in everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to feel everything. I have to.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas now I'm more of a business guy. So I'm like, But at the time, I was like, okay, there has to be like a relationship, and then I was already close with Heavy and Quest, and so we're like, let's do it. Let's see where this goes. And so, yeah, it's been interesting. And then we started. Then we managed DJ Prosper, the Ottawa Senators DJ, and he's someone that I knew. Yeah, so I've known him like he went to school. He went to like film and television school in Toronto. Probably like 12 or so years, maybe more than that. And so we ended up going to the same church.
Okay.
And so, and he was
That's
like,
it.
and then eventually I moved here, and then, he was always a rapper, but then he became, DJ Prosper, and we already knew each other, like, my wife and my wife know him and his wife, and we've known each other for a long time. And so he'd been watching what we were doing, and then, it was like, hey, let's, he asked me, which was interesting, because he's been in music a long time, and he doesn't really work with just anybody. So the fact that he asked me, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
That was like
That's
a badge of honor. I was like, okay, like, Prosper asked me. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm doing something right.
Yeah, I'm doing something,
Yeah,
and
you're
so
on the radar.
yeah, so and then since then, and then now I do like I do like a little bit of PR for City Fidelia
Oh,
and
nice.
stuff. So
And yeah,
Nice,
he's
she's dope for sure, man.
yeah,
For
So-
sure.
Shout out to Cranium, because I actually didn't even know City Fidelia until Cranium.
It wasn't until
Seriously, man,
around
yeah.
then I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was one of the people like
Same with Freddie Prince, man. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that until Cranium. I was
Okay.
like starting to check them out before Cranium happened. I was like, oh, who's this guy? Who's that guy? So I go on
Yeah.
Spotify and just shuffle their like artists. And like both of them, I'm like, what? I'm like, these
Yeah.
guys are from Ottawa. Like,
Yeah,
Who's
what?
the
exactly.
other one? Ramon. We had Ramon through.
Okay, the one. Oh yeah, the one
Yeah,
from
he-
Toronto.
Yeah,
yeah,
he was
Yeah.
from Toronto.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's cool. It's cool to see even just like the family relations, like like Sedalia and Jeff Sannon are brothers. Hueso and Freddie Prince are cousins.
Man, yeah,
You know,
okay.
so it's just
I
like
didn't know
it's
that.
cool to see like You know, it's cool.
That's how you say that, Hueso.
So yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. I think that's what you say. Yeah. So him and Freddie Prinze are like first cousins.
Okay.
You know, and yeah, Jeff and City are brothers. So it's cool to see, like, you know.
You know what's crazy is I just messaged you guys that Hueso. I might have spelled it wrong, but Hueso.
Oh, okay.
He has it was Freddie Prinze and him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what? They're brothers?
no, cousins.
Okay. Yeah.
Freddie
That's crazy,
Prinze,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know who used to play? He used to play in the CFL. Hueso.
No.
Damn.
Yeah,
No way.
he's a CF. Yeah, he played for the Red Blacks. He got drafted by the Blue Bombers,
No way.
and then he played for somebody else, and then he came to the Red Blacks.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, I think now he's
That's
doing his music thing, but
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
you know.
Fuck, man.
I mean, he
Like,
looks-
was this for the Red Blacks or was it for the Renegades? Kind of.
no Red
years
Blacks,
back?
Red
It was
Blacks.
Red
Yeah, it's like
Blacks?
a few years ago,
Okay.
maybe like last season or something.
Damn.
Yeah, so
Crazy. Yeah.
Did he win a Grey Cup with them?
I don't know. I
Oh,
don't
Because that was
know.
within the last.
If I was
5
him, I'd be
years.
wearing that in like every music video. That ring.
For sure. Yeah.
I'd be like, hey,
yeah.
you know.
It would just be
Totally.
zoomed in on my hand all
That'd
the
be
time.
crazy.
Like that would make some good like album cover art.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
nice little CFL championship ring. You know?
Yeah, with like $100,000 rollie or something.
Yeah. With a stack of hundreds there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's classic. That's crazy though. I never knew that, man. But no, I kept hearing him in that one song. I forget what it's called now, but it's him and Freddie Prinze.
Okay. Oh, Ball Up?
Yeah. And I messaged them and I was driving, so I just put the name of the dude, like Hueso or whatever.
yeah.
I just put that. I was like, I'll explain it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so it's funny that he actually came up because that's what I meant, guys. Was you gotta check him.
No, there's a lot. Like, there's a lot of good artists, man. Ottawa, like, I mean, it's crazy. That, and I'll say, like, you know, what's his name? Castro Crosby, Bobby Brugal. He said it, and I agree with him. He said, like, he believes that Ottawa makes better music than Toronto. And for me, like, after he said that, I was like, that's so true. Like, outside of Drake, The Weeknd, and Tory Lanez,
Yeah.
I do think Ottawa makes better music than Toronto. And I'm from Toronto. I'll say, as a someone from Toronto, like, I do think Ottawa actually, like, and he said it. Castro Crosby said, like, in Ottawa, like in Toronto, you always have that thing that if Drake notices me and like does an Instagram story about my song, I'll blow up. So everyone's just trying to get noticed by Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. He was saying in Ottawa, like, we're used to no one puts you on in Ottawa. It's
Yeah.
like the music has to be that good, or you have to hustle that hard, because he's like, there's no one here to put you on.
Yeah,
You gotta leave
That's
the
so
city.
true. That's
Yeah.
so
You know what I'm
true.
saying? So it's like, there's no, if so and so, that doesn't exist here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like the music has to be
Fuck
good.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
and you know what's funny too though is like sometimes like I have a few like local artists on my like regular rotation,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'll be driving with somebody and we're listening to a song or whatever, and I'll notice they're like, bopping
Yeah.
their head and shit, and I'm like, wait, like I think I need to tell them that this is like a
Yeah,
local
yeah,
artist.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they need
yeah.
to know that this isn't just and like a lot of people, I'll be like, oh yeah, like this guy was on the podcast, and they're like, this guy's from Ottawa,
Yo,
and
people,
they're like,
yeah.
"Fuck, it's such good quality,
Just
So
put a quick plug. We do have a Capital Essentials playlist on Spotify that's all like local hip hop and R&B.
Oh,
okay,
shit.
okay.
So check it out.
Yeah.
Jamaican horns. But yeah, Capital Essentials on
gotta input
Spotify.
somewhere.
It's all like local hip hop R&B. Like I honestly, I listen to like even on Spotify where they tell you at the end of the year like who your top 5 artists were. Like
Yeah,
Whatever,
My
like-
second was Malcolm.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Like one, like
Yeah,
mine,
that's
like one, like Heavy was one of mine. I had like
Nice.
Travis Scott, Drake, someone else that had I had Heavy and Lance Lorenzo.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's my top 5 artists. So I'm like, the fact that I had 2 local guys in my top 5, I was like, I felt good about that.
Yeah.
You know, like I listen to it like all the time. Like I'm always in my car listening to it because I'm like, I want people to know about it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I'm in my car, like I try to bump it, or even on Instagram stories, I try to bump some local music just to like get it out there. You know?
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
Make
And
it
yeah,
catch a
man,
ear.
same here. Like, well, and the thing is like I don't. It's like I don't go and like I'm gonna put on this song and take this video and like post it and share it and shit. I'm like listening to the music and
Yeah.
being like, wait a second. I'm like, if I'm sitting here listening to all of this like Malcolm or all of this like
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze, I'm like, why don't I just take like, because that's obviously like part of the point of me posting is because I like this shit. This is what I'm listening. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So then I'm like, yeah, and I do that like just because I'm like, wait a sec, man. I'm like, I gotta tell other people about
Exactly.
this,
Yeah,
right? Like,
totally, man.
And shout out to Malcolm because his last music video was crazy. Like, the music video with Monfu.
Oh,
I know
man.
that.
Yo, that
yeah.
that I messaged him after. I was like, yo, that was like one of the best local music videos of like 2019.
and he like, I'm pretty sure like did all the screenwriting and like everything for
I
it.
think he
Like-
said
Yeah, that's what he
yeah.
said. He said he wrote the
like
whole,
that
the
was
whole thing.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like the storytelling on that video and the
Yeah.
song,
Yeah.
that was
and that's
insane.
and that's one of my favorite songs.
Insane.
Too,
No
like,
doubt.
man.
It's-
He's
yeah,
a
it
man.
goes for
He's
sure.
yeah. He's like a walk the walk. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's been through the shit, man.
And he's got
Yeah,
that. He's got a pretty unique sound. I find. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
he does,
I
man.
don't know. Maybe I'm.
He's so authentic. I find like he's in a
like,
lane of his
like
own.
I'm genuinely a fan of local music. Like when I see people, I don't totally like have a fan moment, but I inside I do. Like me and Vlad will like we always say all the time like we have like when we have certain people on the show because we you see them on YouTube whatever and stuff. And so when they actually get it, they'd come on the morning shift. It was like, man, like I'm a real fan of this person. Like
yeah,
it feels good to be able to say, yo, you're playing their song. But just to have them there, you're like, yo, like I'm a genuine fan
yeah,
of
man,
this person.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and even when I see certain artists collab, like Heavy and Jeff Sannon have their song on it. Like I've been a fan of Jeff Sannon back when he was like his name was Freshman, and they have their song on it together. And I'm like, yo, like Jeff Sannon and Heavy on the track, man.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing that. Like I love seeing those like local collaborations. I'm like, I need more of those, man. Just as a fan of
Yeah.
like local music. So
For sure. What's his newest one? Is it with Dip Black?
yeah, they have Cobain.
Yeah, that
Oh,
music
yeah.
video to that.
Yeah.
Just the start of it. Once it starts, man. Like
Yeah.
the lights kind of.
See that whole team, like you guys are, that whole team's like doing big things.
Oh,
like,
man.
it's just
Mm.
It's probably
they're all
why,
fire,
you know.
man. Well,
it's
even
some
Cafe
great
just put out
production,
that
absolutely.
fucking video too.
Residuals today.
And it was
yeah, or
like,
yesterday. Go
it wa-
check it out.
I found it was like different. Like it wasn't really what I expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was so
It
fucking
hit,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
like
hit.
I actually, you know what? Whenever we were talking about it earlier, I forgot to say this, or I was like starting to say this, but it's like I wanted to keep listening because I was like, hey, he's probably gonna start spitting bars at some
Yeah.
Had
point,
a feeling.
and like didn't, but still
Yeah.
like great song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then that makes me wonder like, what bars did he save from that song that he's like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
what
yeah.
Well, it just goes
energy
to
is
show
he
right
gonna
there.
put
Yeah.
into
Next.
the
He's
bars?
He's got
like,
diversity,
next,
right? Like it's just like that out of control video is like he's out of control. Like he's spitting that like fast.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
up. And this
Mhm.
one he shows a little bit more of a slower, like emotional.
like
Yeah,
yeah.
like
You know what I mean?
R&B
So-
yeah, R&B
Yeah.
He's
vibes.
got diversity for sure. I see big things for Cafe.
Oh, absolutely, man.
He's
Shout
doing,
out to
he's doing it
Cafe.
good, for sure.
Yeah, man.
But
Go
yeah,
watch
the
that
overall
music
talent in
video.
Ottawa is it's getting up there for sure.
It is, man, and it's good to see. Ever since we started, you know what I mean? It's
Oh,
just we went from knowing we went to a couple live shows, you know, and then we were like, well, we'll get the openers on, you know, and we it was kind of the same openers, right? Like King Khan, Sudden. It's been so long now, I probably can't name a few more, but it was kind of repetitive. So we got them on, and then it was like, oh hey, we're here too.
It's like, oh yeah, there's a
And then
bunch
it
of
was
more
like,
people.
Man, it's endless. It's
Yeah,
endless.
yeah.
Like,
Like, literally
you
this
know?
fall, it just kind of broke
But,
it all
like,
down for us. Like, man.
Like
Yeah.
we had the morning shift there. I think we went for like 3.5 months, 4 months, and we literally had a guest every single day.
Yeah,
like every
wow.
single day.
man.
Yeah.
Like there was maybe 2-3 days in the 4 months that we didn't have a guest. Every other day we had a guest,
Yeah,
Holy
and people
shit.
thought people told us like, man, how you gonna have interviews every day? You're gonna run out of people to interview. We didn't run out.
Yeah, yeah.
And most of them, we also had people that weren't necessarily like we had a few that weren't artists, but for the most part, it was like almost artists every single day. You know,
Yeah.
and
man.
yeah,
So you
so,
do that? Do you do that 5 days a week?
yeah, it was
like
five. It was
Monday to
yeah, it was five. It was 5 days a week.
Yeah.
At first we were 6 to 8 a.m. Then we were like 7 to 9 or something like that. Yeah,
Nice.
but every once in a while I still jump on. Every once in a while I was there before the holidays, just kind of like
Yeah,
jumped on every once in a while, whenever I can and stuff, and
Right on.
I'll go on. So
that's awesome. So where's that? That's a Chuo.
yeah,
Yeah?
CHO, yeah.
Okay. Is that the like Dynamics running that?
Yeah,
now?
so Dynamic-
Okay,
Dynamics-
Yeah, I thought so.
So they have a rotating. They now have like a rotating roster of hosts. So I think Dynamics on there sometimes. They have Daddy Rich. Sometimes they have Mosey, Avante Poems, and Chris, is it Crystal? Lady Z, I think it's her name. So
Okay.
yeah, so they have a rotating roster of hosts, and every once in a while, I'll come on when I can, and
That's awesome.
It's nice. I always get love whenever I go.
Shit,
It's,
Like,
it's like
that's
Eminem
sweet.
dropping.
Yeah.
the
like when I go
you know?
in and like, we get the text like, oh, the boss came, the boss is back, and you know, that type of thing. So it's nice.
That's
People like
cool,
we really
man.
were able to connect with people. So it's nice.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Right on.
Fuck yeah, that would be sweet, man. Fuck,
Yeah.
I have to put my name in the hat. Fuck.
Absolutely.
Nah, I
the
smoke
4G.
and swear too much, man.
We can train you. Just give us a month advance.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah, I
train
need a shot collar.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do one practice round in the shot collar and I'll be good.
That's funny.
Shit.
Yeah, that's awesome. So,
Sorry.
so yeah, what were you into?
Enjoying.
I'm gonna like rewind the tape a bit
Yeah.
because I got more info. So what were you
No,
what were you into in Toronto? Like,
Perfect
so
opportunity.
you were into like connecting with artists.
No, like
No?
Toronto. Toronto. I was corporate. Like it's so weird. Like I wear suits every day. Like I was.
Oh, wait.
So I was
Speaking of that, I love your shirt, man.
Thank you.
Sorry,
I got shout out to Sit Apparel out of Toronto, enemy of the province. To play on enemy of the state.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sit Apparel out of Toronto. Like, this is their shirts, but yeah, in Toronto, I was like very like suit and tie. I was an organizational development consultant. I used to do some work in the court system. Like,
Oh, no way.
and actually, yeah. And then after that, I worked in after that very corporate-y stuff. I worked at a community center in Scarborough, in one of like Toronto's worst neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's a rough.
Which was like like
Good for you.
Yeah, oh my god! Every day I wanted to leave,
Yeah.
and I stuck it out, and I was glad I did because I really got to connect with the youth after. But it was hard, man. And like,
You get, like,
a
spit,
lot of the
kicked,
kids were like
hit.
drug dealers. Like a lot of the kids were drug dealers. For a while, they thought I was a cop. So
Oh, yeah.
they're like, kept calling me 5-0. I'm like, yo, I'm not a cop. Like, chill out. Like,
They'd have like
um,
that inner, probably like
yeah,
that inner,
like they would be
yeah.
like they were kind of threatening me and stuff. Like like people headbutting each other right in front of my desk. Like it was like, what the hell?
Intense.
People on the phone making drug. And then after a while, I connected with them, and they became kind of like friends of mine.
Of
But
course.
Yeah.
they'd be all on their phones making drug deals and stuff. And one of them got shot in the face. So I was just like, what the heck? Like, what
Oh,
it
That's
was
deep
like.
stuff, man.
And then quickly after that, I moved to Ottawa. So
Yeah, crazy. That's what I was in school
That's
for. It was like
wild.
child and youth work, and like for co-oping. Yeah, it was like to work in like a group home, shelter or whatever. And I don't know, man. I got like a little taste of it, and I was out. I was like, I can't do this my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
my
yeah,
whole
yeah.
life,
Well,
like
see,
I can't
like,
do this.
like I'm from a small town, and like I was like I don't know, like I like been, you know what I mean, like I've been through some shit, whatever, right?
Mhm.
So I have like a little bit of experience here and there and whatever. But we like I always, whenever I was a kid, was always trying to push to get a skate park in Renfrew. Oh, name drop. Because I had one. They had one whenever I was like really, really young, but like really couldn't take advantage of it. And then it all got rid of it. It was like a
Yeah.
youth center and shit, right? But anyways, so then later, after I had like done some shit, I found out that they're like trying to make this like committee for like the skate park and stuff. So I was like, yeah. So I went out and did like some fundraising and stuff. I like organized concerts and stuff, had bands come play for free, and like, made money, and like
Oh,
did all
yeah?
kinds of like raffles and shit, just whatever I could do to make money.
Yeah.
And I just like handed it over, right? But I had all these like kids that came out. There's a whole bunch of like teenagers and shit, right? I'm like probably like 24, 25 at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's all these little kids, and once the skate park was actually like there, and finished, me and my buddies went there and we were skateboarding, and these two kids came up that were in the like committee or whatever, and they were like pretty young, and they were biking around and stuff, and they must have been on like lunch or something, right? And the one kid's like, okay, like I gotta go, like, and the other kid's like, where are you going, man? And he's like, I gotta go to class, right? And he's like, fuck that, man, I'm staying here. And I was like, man, I wish I could go over there and like tell that kid, you know what I mean? Like, even like not even just be like, go to fucking school, but go over and like talk to him, befriend him, and be like, anyways, man, I have to go to class. See you later. You know what I mean? To be like, oh, like maybe he'll look at me and be like, there's that cool
Yeah,
dude.
you're being responsible.
And then I'm like, oh, I have
so-
to go to do like this thing, right?
Yeah.
And just give him that like hint. But then anyways, my whole point is that after that I had thought, I'm like, maybe like I could do something like that, and like
Yeah.
have these kids like get, like earn their trust and shit,
yeah.
and have these kids come to me and be like, you know what, like Mr. Styles, like fucking.
You should sign up to be
This
like a
happened,
big
you
brother
know?
or whatever.
There
Don't
you
they
go.
have,
Well,
like-
I drove by whenever I was in London, or Sarnia or whatever, one of the two. and there was a big thing. It said the little brothers and sisters or whatever.
Yeah.
And I like made a joke about it at first because I was like, haha, yeah, imagine me being like, but at the same time, yes, like, you know, like I would do that, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, I've been through some shit.
Yeah.
So I don't think they would let that happen.
But with some with some of those youth though, it was like they got to the point like some of them like they like didn't trust me at all. It was hard, man. But then after a while, like
I bet,
one day I just offered to drive one of the guys to probation. Like he had to go to OPP every Friday to like to like sign in or something, whatever. Or this I don't know. But so I just became his like his Friday ride.
Yeah.
And that we became like friends after that. And then the other guys in the neighborhood were like, oh, okay, this guy's like, you know. And then I let my wife drive. My wife was also working in the same center, so I let my wife drive them around.
Yeah.
And she would like, you know, and so after all, they're like, okay, these guys are cool. Da, da, da. And then one got shot in the face while driving, so I was like, I probably shouldn't let my wife drive with them anymore.
That's crazy.
You know,
seriously.
But but yeah, like it was just, you know, we built relationship over time, and then that was a good like it ended up being an amazing like opportunity.
Yeah, it's like something you'd seen in a movie almost.
Exactly, like police chases all the time in the neighborhood, like people, different people die, like the people dying, like.
And that's another thing too. Like I'm also talking like small town, so it's like not quite, you know, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. But at the same time, just, you know, like make better decisions, you know, because even whenever I was younger, like not that I made any like really bad decisions or that I'm like, you know, like whatever, but it's just that
sometimes
like even as simple as like go to school or like do your fucking homework or like, you know what I mean, shit like that. It's like, oh, I wish I would have done those things at the time.
But you know what though, like a lot of people today need to experience things for themselves.
You're
like
right.
the reality is like well, I mean I don't smoke. I haven't smoked weed since the 90s as I said before. But I mean when I was smoking weed, I was smoking a lot of weed, and it got to the point where like people like my family was concerned and stuff. And I remember my sister my sister kind of is the reason why I tried it, because she tried it before me. So, but after a while she would talk to me like, you know, people would be like, you're changing and and then like my sister's boyfriend would come talk to me, and I knew they all smoked weed at certain points, and I was just like, I didn't care. I was like, what are you talking? Like I didn't want to hear from them. But then after I came to my own point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop this now. But I think for a lot of people, like they need to come, like most people don't listen to like advice and like, you know, they think you're some old guy, you're like whack, like exactly. You know, but we were those guys, like we were those young guys that were like hanging out in the street and doing our thing and whatever. Like they don't realize like, no, we were you, like we were you,
exactly.
You know.
But as soon as if you're the one in the situation or whatever, as soon as someone tells you anything, you know what I mean, you're like me personally anyways, like I don't do it on purpose, like in my mind, like I'm gonna do this the opposite of what they say, but it's like almost like subconsciously you're like, no, you know what I mean, because it's not right, you know. You're like, well, like even when me and my son's mother broke up or whatever, my little brother was like, you know, like giving me advice and stuff, and I'm like, fuck, I know he's giving me the right advice, but I'm like, fuck, it's so much easier for him to tell me than for me to actually do it. You know what I mean? And so I could see the struggle of that, where people would be like, no, like you're wrong, and then get mad at that person for like, you know what I mean?
I see all the time though. Like, I mean, I'm getting up there in age. I have like, you know, some gray hair coming in. But
I don't see it, man.
Good. Yeah, that's why I cut my hair all the time. But yeah, I mean, I talk to people all the time. Like I see certain people always, even in business, like I see certain people making, you know, certain mistakes, or I just see, you know, people, artists making certain mistakes, you know, just family members, and you know, as someone who's older, like you talk to them and you just see it. Like I know how this is gonna end. I know in a few years you're gonna, you know, this is gonna end well. But it's like, you know, you can talk to people, but at the end of the day, they have to like go through it. They have to go through themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, so, you gotta learn your own lesson. But at the same time too, like when I was saying like, you know, like go to school and like finish your homework and shit like that, you know what I mean? Then you said you're like, you know, sometimes people just gotta experience their own shit. And I actually fucking like I almost like appreciate what I learned elsewhere. Than what I would have like experienced had I gone, you know what I mean? Because like I guess what I'm saying is I didn't finish high school, right? So I mean, like I have a little bit of like a regret that way, but at the same time I'm like, man, I've learned so much on my path that like
Yeah,
Yeah.
all I know is if I was doing high school now with my mentality that I have, like with the mentality I have now, like I'd be killing. I know
Oh,
I'd be
man.
I'd be on
Yeah.
student council. I'd be killing it, man.
And well, and I watch like sometimes movies or TV shows where they're like in high school and doing this, and they're like fucking the one show I watch, whatever, the kid's like he's always trying to make up like a because he doesn't really fit in at school, so he's always trying to make up like a club for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, it's the fucking Highlander Club, and like, oh, it's like the Star Wars Club and shit like that.
Man,
And so I like I would. Anyways, point is, whenever I see all this shit, I'm like, yeah, man. You know what? I'm like, I'll go in there and just be like, fucking killing it. You know, like, oh man, like I want to join the fucking jazz band and
Trust
shit.
me.
And,
so like if you like, I'm just gonna
Make it
butt
a
in. So, like,
contest, you know,
it's kind of
like-
funny you got into this situation. This kind of reminds me of something. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Like, so like my nephew is 15. He's like in that high school teenage angsty sort of like time of his life where, you know what I mean. He's like if you could like look back at your younger self, like you were just talking about, and give a piece of advice, you know, to someone, like to yourself, let's say at a teenage years, like you just said, if you were in high
Yeah.
school now with this mentality.
Yeah, I think for me, I would just overall try harder. I would try harder, and I think also I wouldn't care as much about fitting in. Like I didn't always feel like I fit in. Like I always joke sometimes. Like the one group I hung out with in high school that I totally felt at home with was the Chinese girls. There was one year in grade 11 where I hung out. I think it was grade 10, where I don't know why, but that year I hung out with the Chinese girls and we just played cards every lunch. And I tell you, that was like the year where I felt the most comfortable. You know,
Yeah,
like
man.
I didn't, you know, like for some reason, like I just felt like, you know, and that's where I felt I fit in. Like I didn't feel I fit in with the gang because, you know, back then being a thug was like everything. And I'm like, I wasn't a thug, you know, like I wasn't that, so I didn't fit in, whatever. So. But it's funny though, because a lot of the people that were like the cool people in high school aren't cool after. Like sometimes you see them after, and they're like balding, and they look depressed and stuff, and you're like,
They peak in
you know
high
what I'm saying?
school, yeah.
Like
High school, yeah.
they were, you know, they had like amazing hair in high school, and now you're like, yo, you're bald.
Yeah.
You know, like
Totally.
you realize that high school is such a small period of your whole life. Like it's literally like you blink and it's done.
Yeah.
And then when real life starts, you realize. Like with every stage you go to, you realize like, okay, you're the man at the end of grade 5, then you go to grade 6, you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm the little kid now, and then you get to grade 8, you're like, oh, I'm the man, then you go to grade 9, you're like, oh, I'm crap now,
Yeah.
and then you get to grade 12 or grade 13, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm the man, and then you go to university or you go to work, and it's like you're always like going through these stages of feeling like,
You're
well,
the
I'm the man,
the
and
little
then when
fish
you
in
get
a
into the
big
world,
pond.
you realize, oh shoot, like now it's like this huge like world where it's like I may never be the cool person again.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Totally, man.
Type of thing, but who cares? Again, you know, who cares? Though?
But like I say all that to say, and just like I say, I was having this conversation with my mom today. She was here doing some recording for her own meditation stuff, and like she was having this conversation about my little nephew, who again, like I said, is 15, going through this high school, and he has this attitude like, oh, if I don't like, you know, I don't want to go to
Yeah.
school, I don't want to do it, I don't
Yeah.
care, you know, they're very angsty, like
Yeah.
knows everything kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, like, yeah, like for you to look back and give yourself a piece of advice back
Definitely,
then. So
yeah.
I'm gonna show this to him. Be like, look,
Yeah, definitely,
like,
man. And it's funny because
again-
there's certain classes like my guidance counselor told me to take like business classes, like administrative studies, which was business,
Mm.
and I took it for like a few weeks, and I was like, she was like, I really think you'd be good at this, and I'm like, I was like, after a while, it's just like, nah, I left, and that's funny. Now I'm in business. You know, I'm like, shoot, like that my guidance counselor was right. I should have stayed in administrative studies, man. You know?
sometimes it's just meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, that's
So-
wild.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like this.
Yeah.
Well, not that I didn't
growing on
like
ya?
it. It was just that at first I felt like it was like a very like sippy beer. It was
That's
a
not
little
bad,
strong.
So just looking at this Jurassic can, were you guys like excited about the whole Raptors
Oh yeah, man.
championship?
I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sick,
Well,
man.
I think it fucking. Well, I was gonna say I think it got my son into basketball. I think it just like, locked his fucking
Love for.
love for it. Yeah, because like I think
Yeah.
he played like last winter. Like I mean, my kid's like 8, right?
Okay, yeah.
So like he played last year at like 7, right? So you can imagine. But so he played last winter, but then when they won or whatever, right? Like it was just, oh, like we walk around the mall or something, walk through a store or whatever. He's like, hey, look, and it's like champions or whatever. Right? Like we're walking through. I'm like, you want to get a movie? Like, whenever I drop you off, like you and your sister can watch a movie and like whatever, right? And we're walking around looking for like, you know, a movie in Walmart, whatever, and he's just like, point, and it's like a DVD of like the season or whatever. I guess like highlights and
Yeah.
stuff all
Oh,
through
yeah.
or not the season, but like the playoffs and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like,
Yeah,
all
it's
right,
just
here
like
you
a-
go, man. I'm like,
It's
study the
so
tape.
funny how like for us growing up, like hockey was like still the thing.
It
Like
was,
for us,
Yeah.
like playing street hockey, like in Toronto, like in Mississauga, like street hockey. I mean, we were a bunch of like black and Hispanic and Indian kids. Like you know,
Yeah.
like I don't think there was one white kid. No, there was one white kid that came in the neighborhood after. But like we played street hockey from like morning till night. I don't care how
Yeah,
cold it was.
man,
Like
yeah.
the snow could be like high. We're playing hockey. We're like, and then halfway through the day you go into defrost and then you go back out again.
yeah.
And I'm like, kids nowadays, like hockey's not the thing anymore.
no, it's
No.
not.
Like it's
man.
like now it's soccer and basketball.
It is.
Yeah, man.
You know, for us it was baseball and hockey.
Yeah.
That was it. You know, it's like now it's like man, like
It's
Yeah,
true.
man. I don't even know if they had soccer whenever I was a kid. Like,
but now it's like
there's no basketball. That's for
crazy.
sure.
no.
I grew up in the UK where it was like always just
Oh, yeah.
soccer. Yeah,
When you
soccer
played
was-
cricket.
Hey,
Cricket definitely wasn't my
actually,
thing.
you know what?
for
You
sure.
know what? I was gonna ask you something. You ever hear the expression "taking a piss"?
Taking the piss?
Taking. Oh, okay. I thought it was taking a piss. Are you taking a piss?
No, it's taking the piss.
Taking the piss?
Yeah, you
It's
take like so make like
joking?
making fun of someone.
Yeah,
like,
okay, okay. It's
yeah.
taking the piss. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. No, just because I texted you earlier. I'm like, just taking a piss.
Oh yeah.
And I was
yeah.
gonna say, but I don't mean like. I mean literally, you know.
Yeah, so that's like
it's
yeah, taking the piss.
piss?
Yeah, you're taking the piss out of someone. Like if you're taking the piss out of someone, it means you're like
Okay,
you're
okay. It's
making
like
fun of them.
it's
or,
like I'm
you're-
yanking your chain.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
ever watched those videos on YouTube? It's like celebrities explaining like slang from their country.
Yeah.
No.
They have them. They have the whole bunch, and they have like one of the guys from One Direction going through like Irish slang, and they have Lily Singh doing Toronto slang.
No.
It's like Vanity Fair. It's so cool, man. Like you see,
That's
like they're all
sick.
going through like they have Charlize Theron doing South African
Yeah,
slang and stuff. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I like those
That's
shows.
wild.
They do a lot like they
Let's check
sit a
that out.
celebrity in front of like a Google board and they rip
Yeah,
off
yeah,
questions.
exactly.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that
yeah.
one. Yeah,
Yeah, those are always
and hot ones like
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
classic.
Hot ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should do a hot sauce episode.
we should. Yeah.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
sure-
I've always wanted to try one of those.
talked about this before.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen sometime.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I
Like
had
go to
I-
Bayshore, pick out a sauce or something.
Should just go buy all the same sauces they use and do the same challenge they do. Oh,
I
yeah.
remember once
Just
like,
rip
for,
off their
for
shit.
one of my birthdays. I think I don't know if I was maybe 20 or 21. I went to somewhere at Yorkdale in Toronto.
Nice.
It was like Casey's or something, and we ate like the wings with suicide sauce.
Mm.
Oh my gosh! Like we were
No
literally
way.
like peeing pepper. Like we were peeing and it was like burning.
Oh,
and then
man.
I started like crying and my tears. There was
God.
pepper in my tears. Like my
Oh.
tear. Like the more I was crying, it was like the pepper was just continually going. Like it was like I was crying tears. Like tears were coming out of my pee. It was like it was just coming out of
Oh,
everywhere.
you're
Like,
fetal position, like make it stop.
I don't know why people do it to themselves. Honestly,
I would try it though. I need to
I
try
love
it
it.
at least once. I need to try
It's
that.
definitely the sensation, man. I love like when you eat something spicy. I just like the aroma. You
Man,
know what I mean?
well,
like
also
how,
like I honestly think
how
that
you like
there's
your
like
face feels.
I think there's
after.
something addicting about it because like, well, I mean, for some, I guess, because like I'll do it. Like my buddy has like crazy hot sauces. Like he has one that comes in a coffin, and you have to sign a piece of paper whenever you buy it to say like you won't
Crazy.
sue them.
That's crazy.
And so like I mean like you literally need just like a little bit, and like you're dying.
I like how.
And like man, one time I took that and like a few other sauces and put it all on.
Yo, if
ate
I have
it,
to
and I
sign
was-
something, I'm just thinking about that
No,
right
no,
now.
no,
If I have
no.
to sign something to say something
like,
bad
yeah,
happens
but, like,
when I
one
eat
time,
give them
did a bunch of it,
license.
That
and I was
shit.
laying on the
to give 'em
ground, like I was like,
license
oh
to make
man, and I laid on the ground, I'm sweating,
Yeah.
sweating. The room felt like it was spinning around me. Man, I was like, man, I don't know if I'll ever do that again.
You should eat.
Oh my god!
You should eat those hot sauces high.
But then it was about but that always. But then
I'm
it was
always
just
about
high all the time.
But then it was about an hour later, man. I'm sitting there, I'm like, you guys want to do it again? And like, you know, it's just like I'm like, an hour ago, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever eat hot sauce ever again. This sucked. And now I'm like, wait, you guys want to try it again? Like, we'll just do like a little bit this time, you know? I'm like, wait, it's almost like drugs. Like,
Microdosing.
It's
on
like you
pepper.
build up a tolerance to it, definitely. But like when it gets to the point where it's not about flavor or
yeah.
it doesn't add
At the
anything to
same
it.
time,
It's
too-
just about sheer pain and hotness.
I will
you know what
say
I mean?
though,
It's
like
just
some of the really,
why?
really hot sauces do taste good, but like like you don't want a whole lot of it, right?
It also
But it's,
depends on what they're mixed with. Like blueberries apparently is something really good. To get in.
Mango?
Like mango.
Well, yeah.
Mango with
Like I
pepper
have one
sauce.
at home. Like literally, man, I take a toothpick and like I rub it around the inside of the neck of the bottle. Like there's like barely
Yeah.
anything on it,
Mm.
and I'll stir it into like a pot of soup or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's so hot, but at the same time, I can taste like I guess it's the peppers or whatever. It tastes like cinnamony almost, but it gives it
Mm.
just this little bit of flavor.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
man.
like, hey, you know what? Like it actually like does taste
Does
good.
its
But at
job.
the same time, I'm sitting there like my nose is running, I'm drooling, and like you
Hopefully
know.
not. Hopefully not in the.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
honestly over here, yeah. No, but I don't know.
Always good if you have a cold.
And that's what I do. That's why I started making it, was because I was like, you know what? I'm like, I'm just gonna put a bunch of this hot
Clear,
sauce in the
clear
soup.
your head out, you know, and your head just feels so stuck.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, so fuck, Happy New Year a week later. Or 10 days later.
2020.
20.
Yo, but it's this decade. It does feel different this year.
It
Like
does.
I don't know. Like I
Feels like there's like purpose.
Yeah, there's
to
been
this
certain
whole
See the
years
thing.
light.
like there's been certain years where I did not look. I was like crappy years where I was just like, man, I don't look forward to this next year.
Yeah.
And the past few years have been good, but this year just felt so different. Like like the fact that it is a new decade too.
yeah.
Oh man, I don't. I felt so. It feels promising, man. Like it
I
feels
agree.
so.
But at the same
different,
time,
man.
there's like looms of like war and shit.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm trying not to like
Ooh.
look into that crap. I'm trying to look ahead, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It's definitely. I agree, man. Like even well, going back to the Raptors, the night the Raptors won the championship, I became a dad.
What?
Yeah, I
Oh,
went to-
congrats,
Oh, I
man.
didn't know that.
Right by my
Yeah,
I didn't know it was
Jamaican
the same
horns.
night.
It was well, so yeah, they won.
We were
It's like
doing a
11
podcast.
o'clock
That's how
at
he
night.
celebrated.
No, no.
Oh no, that was a
It
different time. Sorry.
Midweek, yeah, and yeah. So Raptors won. My girl and I went to bed.
No, you did.
Yeah, I'll get her to confirm it. Yeah, and she was just like, I think my water broke. I'm like, no, you like I gotta go to the bathroom. Sorry, I skipped a step. She goes to the bathroom, comes out. She's like, I think my water broke. I'm like, you just went to take a pee. Like, was it like an abnormal? Was it like a different pee? You know what I mean? She's like, yeah, it was like, I know it was different. I'm like,
No.
I was so skeptical at first, like, no.
Did you,
But anyways,
did you name your kid Kawhi?
no, not
That'd be
quite.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool though.
How so? Was it a boy or a girl?
Girl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
It's just like Stevie Kawhi Cody.
Yeah, we named her Stevie. Stevie Louise Cody.
That's good, man.
Yeah,
First time dad.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm done now, man.
You're done
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, I have,
how
I have
many
three.
do
I
you
have three.
Three?
I was gonna ask you too
they're
because I
all-
saw the seat in your car. I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
you
so
what's
they all
up.
have. Yeah, so I have three. They're all born in Ottawa.
Boys, girls?
two boys, and then the last one's a girl.
Nice. So you got a mix at least.
So now I got a mix. I'm completely done.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten fixed yet. I'm in the phase of life where a lot of my friends are like have gotten the procedure done.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm holding off. I don't know. I don't. It doesn't sit well with me yet.
I'm kind of with you on that.
It
man.
doesn't
It's,
sit well with
it
me.
is reversible apparently.
Yeah,
but
it is, but yeah.
I don't,
Yeah, it
trust-
doesn't
I don't
sit- it
trust
doesn't
you
sit well
going
with
near
me,
there,
man.
I
man.
I'm not trying to
agree.
cut my testicles
I
yet,
agree.
Yeah.
or my
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
What
we're
if,
in the
like-
middle of like probably will have more, but yeah, we're in the middle of taking it easy right now. Anyways, being the first one, we don't know what we want to do from here, but
Yeah.
it's been a great experience.
Like all my kids,
since we're on
like
the topic.
I think I was a stay-at-home dad with all three of my kids.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, so now the last one's finally like in school, like in daycare, and so I'm
Okay.
like, this is the first time. Right now is the first time that
Since you became a dad.
since I've been like just free,
yeah.
and free just to even do like it's the first time I'm really doing shifter full time. Like most people thought I've been doing shifter full time the whole time, but I was kind of juggling being a dad
Yeah.
and
right.
trying to grow this thing, and so this is the first time where I'm actually like, oh, all my kids are in school. I can actually like go to meetings whenever I want. I
Right
can
on,
actually
yeah.
like do client stuff whenever I want. So it's actually been like, oh my gosh, I'm totally free now
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like do my thing, you know.
Kind of a bittersweet feeling in a way. Or
No,
is it
not
just
really.
like, yes,
It's sweet.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
sweet.
no,
It's-
yeah.
Sweet.
Back to being you again, I guess.
Yeah. It's for me. It's just all sweet. Like I put in a lot of years. You know, sometimes my wife, you know, it's hard being a mother. But I also remind her
Absolutely.
that, you know, hey, I was home for all three kids. That's like my card I can
Yeah,
play.
man,
That's like the card.
absolutely,
It's the
dude.
card I can
Yeah,
play at any time. Like
that's good for you,
it's like an
yeah.
ace. I'm like,
Oh,
there
do
you
that,
go.
man.
Yeah. Oh, landed on chance. Get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
You know?
Save that.
But yeah, it was interesting being at home. It was interesting.
I bet you learned a lot from it.
Yeah, I did.
Grew as a person. I've definitely. It hasn't even been a year yet. And definitely growing as
It's
a
an adventure, man.
person for sure. Hey.
It's an adventure,
Yeah,
man.
man, absolutely. It's great. Like the moments too. There's so many moments. Just like every day.
I breathe
there's
in,
just
I
like
breathe
a
in your
moment.
weed.
Oh shit, sorry, man.
It's okay.
Yeah, second hand.
Yeah. Can't drive for
I
an
haven't,
hour.
haven't coughed like this since the 90s.
Ah, shit.
Well,
That's
it is part of the 4G experience,
Yeah,
I suppose.
that's the last one, I promise.
It's okay. I
I know.
don't care.
Oh
That's good.
shit.
Oh man. Well, do you want to answer some questions real quick?
Yeah,
Quick
let's do it, let's
questions.
do it.
All right. Pizza or tacos?
Pizza. Although I do like tacos, but pizza.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Powerade or Gatorade?
Gatorade.
Gin or vodka?
Vodka.
Plane. Would you rather take a plane or take a train?
Plane. Well, yeah, I haven't been on either in a while. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, plane.
Tattoos or piercings?
Tattoos.
Boobs or booty?
It's so funny. Like I've been like literally thinking someone's gonna ask me this question like sometime soon. And my answer is like we always like. I feel like how come we don't never include like the vagina in that? Like, so I think some men are like vagina men.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, you never include that. But yeah, so
Well, that's something you can't really like if I just my opinion, like if I'm looking at the figure of a female,
Yeah,
like,
true.
I can see her ass or I can see her boobs or not like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I
yeah.
can see like whether or not I'm looking at one or the other.
I think that's why it's so intriguing though, because
I
you
do
don't,
like-
you don't know.
Vaginas
Yeah,
though.
it's true.
It's
yeah.
like you never know. Like you don't know what it's,
It's
like.
true.
You know,
There's the
Maybe
gap
it's
in the
like,
mound.
I like both. but-
you know.
That-
But yeah,
I got-
so boobs or booty? I'd say booty. Although I was obviously as most men like both. But yeah, booty.
Yeah.
Booty all the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I have to say, we're probably at a good like 90% to 10% booty rate right now.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Is it mostly black guys you have in here? Like mostly like black rappers?
The
Lately.
ratio is actually
Lately.
increasing, man. I like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deep sea or outer space?
Ooh, outer space.
Yeah.
'Cause I just finished watching season like 3 of Lost in Space, so
Oh,
and I'm in
yeah.
space mode.
I was
Do you like
seeing-
that?
seeing
Yeah,
the
Lost in
trailer-
Space.
Yeah. The
Oh,
new
I love it,
series.
man.
Yeah,
I'm not-
tried watching the first series. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I'm not a big like sci-fi space. I'm kind of like not like compared to some people, but yeah, and, like I loved it. Like I finished
Yeah.
that season in like 2 days.
I saw a trailer for it the other day. I was like, yeah, it looks pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Would you rather never laugh again or never use your smartphone again?
Oh man, that's hard. I would need to laugh, but then smartphone.
I know.
Oh,
I was gonna
man.
say someone like you can't run around with a laptop like this. Like,
Oh man,
trying to get service.
you know, yeah, I guess I would never laugh again. That sucks though.
Wow.
No, I don't know.
Shit, I'm like,
I don't know. I don't
that's
know.
the first one we.
I was gonna say that's out of 99 to 1%.
I don't know, 'cause I'm like-
You
What did I say? I said I would never laugh
You would
again.
Yeah,
never
never laugh or
laugh
never
again.
use a smartphone again.
That's so hard, man. Like,
That
says a lot about you.
it's still part of what I do. Like
I
Yeah,
know
I'm-
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
like I wouldn't be able to work again.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
yeah. So you know,
You're literally limited to phone calls and texts.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine like you're just scrolling on your smartphone and you see the most fucking hilarious meme and you can't laugh at it?
that would suck.
Your vision goes blurry for a sec.
Like,
Yeah.
"Ah,
Yeah.
at least I get to use my smartphone.
Shit, that's hard though. It is hard, especially like I said, like you know what I mean?
I'm on it all the time. I have like 5 Instagram accounts I'm managing right now. So
yeah.
like,
See, I was
you
up
know.
to 4 at one point, but and all like legit serious things, but
Yeah.
but then again, that
Just goes-
just means I would need to hire someone to do social media, which is nice.
There you go.
yeah,
You know?
oh, yeah.
So you just put your phone down. You can
That
laugh
would
all
actually,
you want.
you know what?
Someone else to do it.
I changed my answer.
There
I
you
changed
go.
my answer. I would laugh, but I would hire a social media manager.
There
you
you
go.
Yeah.
Worked around
There
it.
you go.
All right. Would you rather be gossiped about or never talked about at all?
I'd rather be gossiped about. It means you're doing something well.
Of course.
So yeah, if people are gossiping about you, that means you're like, if no one's talking about you, that means like you're not like,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I talk about
Doing
me all the
anything.
fuck you want because I don't give a fuck.
yeah. I'm sure people
Could be true,
do.
could be false.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm sure people don't like me. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some people
Of
don't.
course. Haters are fans, man.
Exactly.
Forget who would you rather forget who you are or forget who everyone else was?
Oh,
That's a good one.
would I forget? Would I rather forget who I am?
Yeah. Like you, your personality, your name,
Nah. Oh
characteristics.
shoot! But then I wouldn't remember. I wouldn't know my kids. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But then the other side of the coin is they don't know me. That's like worse. Yeah, I'd rather know who I am. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think
that's what most people have said, right? Like they
Yeah.
want to know who you are, because
Yeah,
then at least
everyone-
See,
through
my
that, you get to
my
know
outlook
everyone else.
was that if you forget who you are and know everyone else, then like you might be able to kind of like build an idea of who you were from those people around you. But at the same time,
that's true.
It
Actually,
is a good point,
that is
right?
that's good, man.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, too, that also works almost like the opposite in the sense that if I know who I am and you know me
You could never know your true
in
self,
such
though,
way,
because
though, because like
you're only
but
ever
then
going to
you
know
would
their
just
perspective of you.
relearn, like, you know what I mean? Like you would just re-up that relationship, basically, right? Because if you
Yeah.
already knew who you were, you're basically like the same, right? You know what I mean? So
Sure.
my
Yeah,
point is
yeah.
it works both ways, right? Like, because you could. Anyways, I'm taking.
I do see what
but
you're
you know what I
saying.
mean? Yeah, like
If
it's
you
like.
knew who you were, that means you would remember, know
Like,
who
I'm-
you were.
Well,
friends
because
with
also,
maybe,
well,
or,
even
like,
too, in the
right?
sense, like, if you came up to me and you're like, man, like, we were friends, like, we did a podcast together and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, all
I know
right,
I'm
like,
into
I know,
that.
and I know that I
Okay,
have
okay.
this,
Right.
and I know that I have this situation where I, like, don't remember people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm assuming I'm given this decision and they do it, right? So I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that I
right.
don't know
I think
everyone
also
else.
I think it depends like where you're at in life. If you're someone who's done a lot of crappy things to people, then you might be like, okay, I can reinvent myself now. There's a chance for me to reinvent myself,
True,
and
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to remember
or if you have no
myself.
kids or no like you're just kind of like a single person, maybe you have nobody,
A nomad.
you know.
Yeah,
That's
true.
good. That's a good like. But that's a good. You're
But
thinking,
yeah, it's like,
That's
yeah,
right,
anyway,
you
sorry.
could All right, next one. Would you rather be born with an elephant trunk or a giraffe neck?
ah, shoot. Oh. No, yeah, maybe an elephant trunk. I would hate to be so tall. It'd be weird. But then I'm like, that could also have certain advantages though.
How is it styled?
It's a cursing and a bless. Shout out to Alex, so physical.
You said, that's funny because you're high and you said a cursing and a bless, but you mean a blessing and a curse. Or-
All right. Would you
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
be forgotten or hatefully remembered?
Would you rather be forgotten or hatefully remembered? And I don't know. Hatefully remembered by everybody?
Yeah, I would
That's
say.
7.4 billion people. That
I don't know. I'd still rather be remembered. Like being forgotten.
Yeah.
Like why would I want to be forgotten?
think about Hitler. I bet you everyone
I was, you know
knows
what's so
that
hilarious?
motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's like being Hitler or every other person,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
any other person.
That's actually
That's
very true.
crazy. Anyway, sorry.
It might end up being Trump too. Who
Did
fucks?
you?
Yeah.
Did you answer? Sorry, I feel
No,
like we
it-
took away from your thought
Oh no
process there.
I think I answered. I think I said I'd rather.
Yeah.
I'd rather be hated.
Hatefully-
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember
Sorry,
that.
yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Would you rather fight Mike Tyson or talk to him every day for the rest of your life?
This is a good one too.
He used to scare the crap out of me as a kid. Like, honestly, he scared me, man. Like I was scared of him as a kid.
Dude is
No,
scary.
I would fight him. I'd fight him because I mean, no one says how long I have to fight him. I could just throw one punch and then just hit the canvas and then count to 10. You know, like I don't have to like. Who said I have to stand there for the whole time?
True.
Very
That's
true.
very
If,
true.
if I had to stand there the whole time,
Yeah, if you get worried, just fall on the ground.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I would fight him. Like, I mean, because like a week later, I probably wouldn't, or 2 weeks later, I wouldn't remember what it's like.
That's-
Like,
at
it's like childbirth. Like
Yeah.
it'd be painful at the moment, but then afterwards, I'd be like, I forget how it felt.
You get the bragging rights to be
Yeah,
like, I
fucking
fucking
right.
fought Mike Tyson.
Come on.
Yeah. I took his
Man, where'd you
ass
get that shiner? Mike Tyson, bro.
All right. Would you rather be convicted of something would you rather be convicted for the rest of your life for something you never done or not be able to stop coming for the rest of your life?
Okay, I've been watching videos on YouTube the past few days with these kinds of questions, and I've been like answering it in my head. Like I would
So
rather,
he's ready for it.
yeah. Like I've seen videos with those like women who have those conditions where they can't stop coming, It's not good, man. They literally want to kill themselves. Like some of them are actually
man.
suicidal
Yeah, no doubt.
because it's like it just after a while it starts to hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would.
They say too much of a good thing is not a good thing, right?
Yeah. So I would rather I'd rather be convicted because at least there's an opportunity to have my conviction overturned.
Very true. Yeah,
You know?
that is true.
Logic. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or?
Oh, I saw this one on
horse-sized
YouTube. I
duck?
saw this question. Would I rather? Was it? Say it again.
Fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck.
Yeah, the 100. I think I'd do the 100.
100 horses.
Yeah, beaks. I have a fear of anything with a beak. I feel like those things like hurt me or
No
something.
doubt, man. Got some kick
I
behind.
know.
Wait,
Yeah,
one
horse-
sec. Why
A
don't
horse-sized duck would have a lot of like be one giant beak.
why
Yeah,
don't why don't birds wear pants?
Why?
Boy.
Because they have their peckers on their face.
There you go.
Sorry.
Never heard that one before.
I heard it the other day.
All right. Would you rather go about your day naked or fall asleep for a whole year?
Go up. I would go. I mean, I can't. I have a wife and kids. So I literally could not do that. So I would go about my day naked, but I'd probably stay home. I'd probably like stay home or take a day off. if I had
chill,
if I had to go, well, I mean, if I actually went about my day naked, I'd be arrested at some point. So
Yeah.
you know, I'd be spending like half my day in jail.
Yeah.
It goes quite a
Drunk
bit
tank.
beyond embarrassment. It's
I just be like, yes, sir,
oh,
I'm
shit.
hammered right now. Yeah. Just bring me to the drunk tank.
Then again, I live in Vanier, so people might expect some naked black guy is walking down the street. You
Just
know,
another day.
Another one.
All right, last question.
That's good.
That was good. Would you rather live one life that lasts 1,000 years or 10 lives that last 100 years each?
10 lives that live. What? 10 lives?
10 lives that last 100
Yeah,
years.
10 lives that last 100 years. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to live 1,000 years because, like,
It get boring.
yeah. Then I mean, my wife wouldn't be with me, right?
That's
And my kids wouldn't be with me.
Exactly.
I'm like, I have to get. I end up getting remarried like 4 or 5 times. Like, nah. I'd rather,
yeah.
forget that.
Yeah, if you're getting married to regular mortal humans, you'd have to get married probably a bunch of times. Well, not have to, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
you
Well, it's
know?
probably safe to say you could probably do the whole like wife and kids thing realistically like 10 different times over.
Yeah.
Right.
And then by the last group of kids, you're like showing them pictures of like their siblings. Like, oh, these are your siblings
Could
from
you
like
imagine
1,000
that?
years ago.
It would be weird because if
Realistically,
you stayed
though, yeah.
if you stayed
This
like
is your older brother.
let's say for argument's sake, if you stayed the age you're at right now for 1,000 years, or like would you like would you grow to like a little old man and be
I would just
decrepit
say
or whatever?
Yeah, like, would
Because
you
then,
keep
like,
aging
yeah,
for
because
the
that means
1,000
like, if, let's say for
years,
argument's
or-
sake, if you did do that, and then you had a bunch of families, eventually, like your
You're not going to
grandkids
be able
would
to.
be like the same age as you, and you could be like, hey, not that you'd want to, but like I'm just saying, you know what I mean? They'd all be like the same age as you. As eventually, you'd be like hanging out and having
Yeah,
a
that's
beer.
if you
Yeah.
stayed the same age.
You're
Yeah,
like
yeah, the
great
whole
grandparents.
time. Yeah, like as if you like hit like 30 and just stayed there.
Yeah.
But then there's also the chance that you keep aging and
you
you're
become
like
you
Yoda
can
or
become
something.
Palpatine or Yoda.
Wow,
Star Wars.
nice. You know what, man? What happened the other night? 2 things happened the other night. On Wednesday night, 2 things happened where like literally one time I started to say something and he started to say something at the
Oh,
same
yeah,
time, and I
yeah.
stopped to let him say something because what I was gonna say was something silly. And I figured what he was gonna say was something serious, so I stopped, and he literally said what I was gonna say word for word. And then it was like a couple hours later, like the exact same thing happened. I'm like, okay, yeah,
Yeah, that's what do we
Oh.
call it? Synchronicity.
yeah, synchronicity.
Uh,
One more question. What's your favorite color?
yeah, that's right.
It used to always be green, but it's just become blue in recent years. I don't know. It's
Nice.
weird. It's been green like my whole life, except for the past few years.
I find it's tough, like for me to have a favorite color. It's like on what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it's a car, like chances are I'm gonna like probably a little like black and red type deal. Probably,
It's hard for me,
but
man.
It depends. Like then a hat,
cars, shit.
or like shirt. I
Everything.
don't know. It's. I like colors, man. Yeah.
Colors.
Yeah.
Colors.
I like red, blue,
Colors.
and green
Colors.
and orange a lot.
you.
Colors.
You get one of each.
Colors.
Nice.
Green and blue.
Yeah.
F&A cotton.
That's-
F&A.
4G decals. Shout out to my
Django
buddy.
Decals.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
DNGL decals. It's my buddy Max Radico. He's pretty dope dude.
Yeah.
He's put all this together for us. So
He does
big
all
shout
that
outs to
stickers
him.
and shit.
The branding's on point.
Also,
and anybody,
we
anyone
got-
looking for like, get at him. I'll maybe post his Instagram or whatever, so people can reach out to
Yeah,
him.
I'll do
definitely.
it
I-
in the comments
get some
or
work.
something.
I have a question. What happened to your British accent?
Yeah.
So I moved to
nice.
Canada when I was 13 years old.
Oh, okay.
So I quickly I was a pretty shy kid. Like I never wanted to be like the center of attention or people like know who I was. So when I moved here, I moved to Pakenham, which is an incredibly small
Yeah.
town, and then went to school in Iron Prior High School. And immediately everybody knew who I was, right? So I tried to fit in the best I could, and I just like eventually just picked up the way people spoke and like, the way people
which
talk.
is so true, man.
Now it's just habit. It's
I
the
find
way that I talk.
that happens like it may. I find if you look up to somebody, you know what I'm saying, you almost mimic it. So when you're a kid, trying to fit in with everybody, right?
Well, it was
So it
just
kinda works
like
like
I got
that,
a
but do you ever-
bunch
do you
of
ever
dumb
find
questions.
that-
It was constantly like, because again, I didn't like to be the center of attention. I'm moving to a small town, and when you're the new kid
But
from
you were that
the
dude
UK,
across
like
the
everyone's
pond,
just
man,
like, oh,
yeah.
so everyone knew who I was. You know what I mean? Immediately, and they were like, oh, say this word. Do you have this in England? What's this like? What's
Yeah.
this like? So I just got tired of it eventually.
Kids will be
So
kids.
it's like I just want to
man.
blend in and be
Yeah,
one
it's
of the
true.
many.
I'm just here to go to school.
Yeah, don't pay attention to me. But on the other hand, my brother, who actually we're gonna have him on pretty soon. Actually.
Absolutely.
He's
John,
traveled the world. He's been a DJ, and he still has his very British accent. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
Older
gets,
brother.
yeah,
He
he
keeps it
gets.
for the
Does it
ladies.
kick in when you're on other English people?
I guess it probably would if I was for a long time.
I swear,
don't know how-
sometimes
Like if
whenever
I went
talk
back to the
like,
UK
people with
for a little
French
bit,
accent,
I probably would.
swear sometimes I start talking back
Me
to them
too,
with the
man,
accent,
honestly.
especially when I'm drinking a bit or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, just stop talking right now.
Yeah.
Gotta recalibrate your fucking, you know.
Like my family's from Barbados, and like,
Okay,
and I talk like it's weird. People tell me I have an accent.
I was drinking rum from Barbados.
Oh, yeah?
yeah,
Which
yeah.
one? Cockspur or Mount Gay?
No, it was like it's like a big like it was kind of like a fancy bottle.
Okay.
It looked like it had a three different names, like three different countries on it or whatever.
Okay.
Sorry. Anyways.
Yeah. So for me, every once in a while, it's weird, but every once in a while, like I talk with accent from Barbados.
Yeah.
Like I have people who are from Barbados coming to me like, "Oh, what part of Barbados are you from?" And I'm like,
What?
"I'm born in Toronto," but because I've been around so many, like I've been around that
Yeah.
culture so much. Like it's
Yeah.
I grew up in the at home, so
Yeah.
it's like I talk like sometimes I talk like I'm from Barbados, especially if I
course.
get around somebody else who's from Barbados, like I just start to talk with the accent.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
It's like that island accent kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Mhm.
so I've been to Belize a few times, and I fucking love their accent down there. Like the way that it's just like a very Caribbean sort of like
Mm.
island accent. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I could sit and listen to them talk all day long.
It's like the same from back home, though. Yeah, I get together with some of the lads from back home, and next thing you know, I'm talking all like, "Hey, and hey, bud, pass the
Yeah.
pint, eh?"
Yeah.
Eh,
Oh
you know,
man.
like-
But you know what's funny though?
Just straight.
You know what's funny? Like
stereotypical Canadian accent.
we're
you know?
from like 40
You know,
we're
bud?
like from 40 minutes from here, man. And like how many times have I been like I'll be in a restaurant and this girl will be like, "Oh, where are you from?"
Yeah.
And I'm like I grew up like 40 minutes from here. They're like, "Oh, I know where that is." Like I'm like, "Well, where are you from?" You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, like I've lived in Canada all my life or whatever." I'm like, "And you think I have an accent?"
Yeah, they.
I'm
Yeah.
like, "What the
But
hell?"
I
You know?
heard
Like,
there's the Ottawa Valley.
there is the valley,
It is,
like
man,
yeah.
the valley,
and-
Didn't that,
but
didn't that
it's
get
just,
voted like one of the top like most sexiest accents in Canada
yeah,
or something like that? the Valley
I mean,
accent?
I'm
Oh, yeah?
like
yeah. there's just,
fingers
like,
crossed it's true, but at the same time, I think that that's like just one of those things that you could just. I think also too. Now that you say that, I'm pretty sure that the pictures supplied for that article were all wearing Valley Proud clothing
Probably
line.
taken in
So it might have been
California,
a
too.
yeah. So it might have been like a promotion thing to just be like, "Oh, look, check out this like the statistics that we did this survey. Like, 800 people, you know.
Yeah.
At the same time
Whatever,
too.
man. I take it out. I just want to have the sexiest accent.
I know, that's what I mean. Like I just like I don't know. I play both sides of an argument. I usually like even with myself. I'm like
You're just
I'm
playing
so right, but
devil's advocate, as
you
they
know,
say.
yeah. But yeah, you already
Most
know
people
what it
would
is.
say we don't have an accent. Remember, we had this talk at work one day, Ben. But it's true. We're like your brother. Well, we worked with his brother, and going back to what you were saying,
Oh,
I'd work a whole day with him and his bro. I'd go home and I'd swear I'd be talking to myself in a Manchester accent
Yeah.
because of his brother. It's just so catchy, right? I don't know. And I remember the one day though, the chick comes out and she has, she's from Manchester,
the UK, yeah.
and then they're talking. And she's like, yeah, they mention about like our accent, right? And the old man we're working with, we don't have an accent. You guys have the accent, right? But it's actually like, no.
yeah, man. I think
Everybody
You
has.
have the accent too.
And I think
it's
I
just
told
normal to us.
this story before too, but it's like I was chilling with a bunch of people. We're all in a room. So my buddy's friend from Finland was here.
Yeah.
Then a bunch of like my friends and like my brother and stuff from like around here. Then there's this couple that are from Scotland, but well, they live around here too, but they're from Scotland. Strong accents. And then they have like some guy that lives with them and he's English. So there was 4 or 5 different countries there, including like Canada, right? And either way, we're sitting there talking, and the one guy said something funny, and like just the way he said it in English, he just broken English, right? He said it, and I was like, haha, like, I pointed it out to everyone else, like, you hear how he said that, like, blah blah blah. And we're all like, oh, haha, yeah. And I'm like, sorry, man, I'm not making fun of you. I'm like, it's just we find it funny that like you said it wrong that way, right? So it's like, haha, you said it that way, right? I'm like, it's just when people have an accent or whatever, and this fucking Scottish guy, like, he wears a kilt and everything, like, and he steps up and he goes, what do you mean accent? He's like, you're the one with the accent. And I was like, touche, man. Touche. And I was like, holy shit, because like I said, we're sitting there, and like Canada being the 5th country in the room or whatever, right? And but the dominant one, I guess. But just yeah, I'm like, oh man, I'm sitting here thinking all these people have accents, and they're sitting here thinking all these people have accents except for me, like you know.
Yeah.
My family from overseas, like especially my family from the UK, they always tell me I have this like Yankee accent, like like this. You sound like an American, and I'm like, I don't sound
They
like an
say
American.
Yankee.
Yeah. Like you, like,
That's old school.
You know what
term
though?
for-
You know what? Actually,
That's like Wild West shit almost, man.
That's true though. Like if I went
From the
back to the UK
1800s.
and I spoke to someone that I didn't know, like in the accent that I have, I'm pretty sure that they would assume that I was from
Yeah.
America.
But they
Oh,
call
for
you.
sure,
well,
yeah.
what I'm saying.
But then if you talk to an
Yeah.
American,
yeah, but like so,
they know right away.
I always thought that Yankee just meant like any American.
Mhm.
And but I was like watching like looking at comments on this post, and this guy was like, they were talking about Stadies. The meme was something about Stadies, and Stadies are like, I'm assuming, like the state troopers and stuff.
Mm.
And also too, like given the context, I forget what it was, but it was about like speeding and like the Stadies lighten you up and stuff, right? So I was like, okay, you can assume it's like state troopers, right? So then some dude comments and he's like, what the fuck is a Stady? And I was like, and he even looked like an older dude. I'm like, fuck, like, I feel like you should know this. And he said, is that Yankee stuff? And I was like, or is that a Yankee word or something? And I was like, where are you from? I'm from Canada. And I was like, we don't have like states, but I'm like, I'm assuming they're talking about like the state troopers and stuff, right? And he's like, oh, I'm from Texas. We don't really care about what happens outside of Texas. And I was like, wait, I'm like, you're from the States,
Yeah.
but you're calling everyone else Yankees? And he was like, oh, it's a north-south thing. I was like, what? So I didn't know. I guess the Yankees were the North.
It's like a civil war.
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Okay.
So it was the Confederates and the Yankees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've since like looked into it and found
Yankees.
that out.
Well,
But
I mean, you would know where the Yankees obviously would come from. Is like
The
New
baseball
York
team.
region.
Yeah.
The New
no,
York region.
I'm just joking.
Anyone
Sorry.
from there, yeah. But yeah, man, we're just getting super off topic. We're like getting into where the slang term Yankee came from now.
Yeah.
but
Oh
more-
yeah.
but
No.
man, that term's super old. It's like from like the 1800s.
Yeah. But I just thought it was
turn
all
of the
just all
century.
Americans, like just anyone in the
Well,
States.
yeah, it was actually like.
Sorry, I feel
it
like I
was
just totally
like,
I like chopped in there and like with nonsense.
Pretty
but-
sure back in the day, it's like he didn't want to be called a Yankee. You know what I mean? It was like
Yeah.
one of those things.
Well, yeah. Oh no. I was gonna say you didn't want to be called a Confederate either. I guess.
Well, I mean,
But same as the same as like a redneck. I thought that was
That's-
the one that was like more offensive than like a Yankee. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, but
I
redneck
guess. But
wouldn't be a
redneck's like
Yankee.
yeah.
it'd be like almost the opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The
I'm not. I'm
My
not. up
buddy
on-
always
the
says-
redneck would be the South. The Yankee would be from like New York, like so like city folk.
There's probably someone
Right.
listening right now, just like
yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
You guys got it
Smashing
all
the-
fucking wrong.
Yeah.
I played Red Dead Redemption, motherfucker. Don't you judge me.
we just lost a bunch of followers.
That's funny. Well, man, it's been
Yeah.
a good time. Anyway,
Yeah, it's been good.
Shout out to fucking Oasis for keeping us fucking heavily medicated.
on this level.
Shout out to fucking KB the boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
out from
yeah,
fucking
we really
Shifter.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
man,
you.
it's been
Thank
a fun
you.
time hanging with you.
Check out, we got a website coming soon, and we
Yep.
got
Merchandise.
merchandise already up there. Check our social medias for like links and all that stuff. We got some like t-shirts and stuff. Just check it out for yourself. Links. Subscribe.
That big red button.
How can they find you and Shifter Magazine?
You can find me on all social media platforms at KBTheBoss_. You can find Shifter Magazine on all social media platforms at Shifter Magazine. And you can also, I do have one song out on Spotify that's produced by Quest.
Oh, no way.
so
I
you
was
could-
gonna ask you if you have.
Can we
music.
play that right
I
now?
forgot.
Yeah, you can play it. Well, yeah, so we have so I have a song on Spotify called Like a Boss. So that's on there. And and I did a Dreamland session too with Quest, so that's on there.
Oh,
and I might-
man,
and I might
think
have-
I've seen that.
Yeah,
actually.
I might have something else coming out, something else coming in 2020. So we'll see.
Dope.
stay
We
tuned,
look forward
everybody.
to that, man. Well, we welcome all guests back anytime, so maybe in the future we'll have you back on
I'll bring
here.
next time. Hopefully, next time I can bring Vlad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
that'd be
let's
so
plan to do
sick,
that.
man. Yeah.
Let's plan to do
Some
that.
KD
Because
and
when I
Vlad.
was doing my homework there, when we booked you on, had no idea actually, if I got to be honest. But then I did some homework. I'm like, oh, he does something with this Vlad guy, you know?
Vlad,
He's
I
very
just gonna put a
close
plug in
with
for
Vlad.
Vlad. Vlad is like he's been doing a lot of Hollywood stuff lately. Like he went to
Oh
Hollywood,
yeah.
went to Hollywood like 3 times at the end of last year
Damn.
for like went for the Scorsese premiere at the Chinese theater.
Holy
He's been
shit.
doing some big
The
stuff.
Irishman.
Yeah, and now he's doing some stuff with like mental health. So Vlad's doing some big stuff. So
That's
and we have
dope.
we have some collaborative projects coming this year. So
Right
Lots
on,
of stuff
Bo.
to talk about.
That's
Yeah, we'd
sick,
love to
man.
have
Yeah, we'd love
you
to have
guys
both of you guys
back if
back,
we can
man.
make it happen.
absolutely.
Yeah,
All
man.
right. Well,
Yeah,
you know who we are.
that's right.
This KB the boss on the phone.
The
Hey,
money
hey.
phone.
Oh shit, he's getting a phone. All right, we,
We
gotta,
gotta
go. Check us out on like I said, all social media. Subscribe. Fucking check out our new merch. Check out Shifter Magazine. Thanks for having us.
Peace.
Right. Catch you.